So, yeah, I love that chat about the shadow and what it is, because I feel like that is like number one, kind of, for like healing,
Oh, yeah. I think that's like if you're building a house, that's the foundation to me.
right? And I feel like, well, I don't know. So many people I know, I guess that's why we became friends, and I've found that most of the people who I communicate about this stuff on are not physically around me. Um, I guess that's why we're doing this. Because you know what I mean? It's like I
Yeah.
want to be able to talk about this stuff. I mean, I do with my partner and stuff, but like there's it's not we are really like leaders in and that word itself sounds so however it sounds imposing or whatever, but like we are helping awaken this way of being that may it help everybody awaken, because the shadow, even the word itself, has kind of a negative connotation, but it's actually like the more we love that part of ourselves, right, the more we it's like embracing your inner unhealed child, like the
All of
more we
it.
give it love, right, it's like that's how we're able to heal and help other people and give more love to the world. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I absolutely agree with that. That's what I call like radical self-love because
And you wrote a book about it.
I did.
Yeah.
The self-love files.
Yeah.
But that kind of because of my journey and like what I was
Mhm.
going through, and I always thought like, oh, self-love is bubble baths and
Right.
it's drinking a glass of wine at the end of the day. Like I really had no freaking clue
Yeah.
what, and I'm not trying to make fun of anything, but like I had no idea, and then it's only when I started like digging deep and doing my shadow work and working with my shaman
Hmm.
that I started to uncover these things. I'm like, oh shit, this is really what self-love is.
Yeah.
Self-love is really being able to sit in the uncomfortableness of all these pieces inside of you that are unhealed, and yeah, all that stuff that we just don't look at,
Yeah.
right? Because it's
Yeah.
very easy for all of us to just go about our day and
Right.
respond and react from whatever place that we are currently residing in energetically, and to not think about much of anything, right? Because why would we need to? We have all of these fun things to entertain us, like
You're right.
movies and
It's
books
like,
and
yeah,
social
yeah.
media now, and we can buy stuff to fill that void.
Oh my God. Yes. It's like self-love. And another word the way it's misinterpreted, I feel like, is authenticity.
Oh yeah.
You know, I feel like those two words are both so trendy and important and like vital and like the foundation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like with the word, I remember authenticity. I remember even using the word. I had a blog that I've since closed. It was like in 2015, and it was called nobubblegum.com. No bubblegum meant like no bullshit. I wanted it to be like,
I love that, and I feel like you need to revive that.
I could, well, I think I gave out the
If it
website,
feels
but
aligned, obviously. But the very first thing that, even before you said the name, I'm like, oh, you need to. I don't
oh,
know.
actually, I know. And the person who helped me do it, and actually, it looked great. Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. Let's put that on. Let me note that in my head and then maybe come back to it. But yeah, I remember writing articles about authenticity. And I remember on like some basic level, like it's about that no bullshit thing, but it's like so much deeper, and like unless we do the shadow work, unless we look at the stuff that's not so pretty, like it's difficult, like it's impossible to be authentic, like it's like
Oh yeah.
becoming more who we are. But just to say, I used to simplify it myself too.
Oh,
I
we
used to
all have.
like I didn't even realize, like I didn't even know I wasn't totally being inauthentic personally, because I've hid myself so many damn times when I'm in a room full of men for business, or you know, in music stuff. Like just the pattern starts so young, whether it's for
Mm-hmm.
me like childhood fear of my dad, you know, ridiculing
Same.
me or whatever, right? We have that in common. Love you,
Hmm.
dad.
I know. Love you. I'm here, but
My dad's all around your dad's. But yeah, like the shit that, you know, just being human, that I didn't realize I was like hiding so much of myself to feel safe. And then, you know, that playing out in school, and then as an adult, and then even, you know, into my 30s, and mid 30s, even just like not even like knowing the depth of the ways in which I was not like, I'm actually super fucking confident, and like I have opinions and I'm not always right, but like I allow myself to evolve, and that coming from that self-loving place. But I was just like, I don't know, I was afraid. And I'm still a little afraid, especially when you express your opinions about what's happening in the world now, and then you get like nasty
Feedback.
messages.
Yep.
But it's like it's so critical to to our healing and the planet evolving, or us evolving. Actually, it's not the planet. The planet, like
The
that
planet
reading.
is good.
Planet's
Like
good. It's us.
it's us who are
For
trying to catch up to the planet. You
exactly, which
know?
was in that great reading by Anthony Quinn. I love how he articulated that.
Oh, I need to read that. I have not read
Oh
that.
no, 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 no! You sent it to me, not the
Oh,
article.
that
Sorry,
guy.
the
Yeah,
video. Did I
I
say
didn't realize
article?
his name. That's right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I meant to say
He was so fascinating
amazing
to me. And then
video.
his like, I want to know whatever he was saying at the end. I'm
Oh my
like
god,
he said it, and then he just like, okay, bye. I'm like, wait a minute, what is
yeah.
this language thing you're using?
Oh my god, yeah. Wait, we'll put a link to that below,
Down
because
below
you
for
guys are
sure.
gonna love it as much as we did. Like
Yeah,
that was
I was
my
like,
favorite.
what?
Yeah.
What? Um, no,
Oh
yeah, I
yeah.
definitely feel like this is probably the best time for Earth because we're having these conversations now,
Yeah.
you know? Like
Yeah.
healing is happening. It may be slow, but I think those of us who are in the know, I
I
love that
know.
phrase. Those of us who are in the know are
The
just going
cool
to keep
kids.
talking and sharing our light. And
Yeah.
to speak on what you said about, because I resonate so deeply with being afraid to be our full selves and
Yeah.
truly being authentic, because
Yeah.
us being fully, or I'm going to speak for me being fully authentic me is going to hurt some egos, right? Like
Totally.
shadow is also making friends with the ego space,
Yes.
integrating that ego space. Um, but if you, and it's just so funny how like timely it is because I love period pieces. It's just
Mhm.
fascinating to me. And I think from like an artist standpoint, because I consider my soul above everything else that I've done, I'm just a creative artist. Like I just am such a geek for all the stuff, all the things. But like what I love about the storyline is great. I like how accurate it is to points in history, which is also very fascinating. I
Mhm.
love, 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 love the detail, the attention to detail, and all of the sets and the costumes
The
and
beauty.
words
You
and
love
beauty.
beauty.
Do I
Beauty.
was like,
It's a
oh,
theme, from the lipstick to your appreciation of these beauty matters.
I love it. But
Yes.
also, I all like, and I'm so grateful I was born in this time and now. One, because I'm black, so hello, no. But I am not the type of person. Authentically me is using my voice and having my
Yes.
opinions and sharing despite what anybody else says. Because even the majority of the time, I'm operating from a heart space. I'm
Yes.
operating from love. And I'm human, of course. So, you know, the triggers can sneak in
Yeah.
and the unhealed parts can sneak in, and then I can check myself, or somebody close to me can check myself. But the theme of that whole of everything, women forever have been
Mm.
silenced and
Oh
you're
yeah.
not allowed to speak out. So like not only are we carrying our own stuff, but we're definitely carrying generations
Absolutely.
and hundreds, if not thousands of years of suppression
Hmm.
from the patriarchy. I mean, is
Yeah.
it as simple as
Yeah.
the patriarchy?
Yeah.
The
No,
powers that be?
absolutely.
The days? I don't know.
Yeah, the systems that is breaking down and needs to break down.
Mm-hmm.
We are actively changing it. Actually, that's really, I love that you said that. That's just bringing it all together, like,
Yeah,
and
because I'm watching that show and I'm like, you have to ask
the
for
Gilded
permission.
Age.
The
I'll
Gilded
Google it.
Age.
Okay, I'll see if it's on. Yeah.
Well, I love, like I said, I love period pieces. I like anything I like anything with elaborate design, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like eye candy for me. But Cynthia Nixon, I'm like the biggest Sex and the City fan. I don't care how
I'm a huge fan of her now because of her
no.
politics.
Well, I love her politics. I
Yeah.
love that she just is using her voice and speaking out
Humans.
because we
Yeah.
need more of that. Specifically that's coming from a woman, because that's just like, thank you.
Absolutely,
But I also,
absolutely.
because she was Miranda in Sex and the City, I just love Sex
Yeah,
and the City so much.
yeah,
Like, it
yeah,
may not be totally PC if you watch the things today, but like, I love
yeah.
it.
That's so funny. I didn't. Did you watch it like in? I didn't watch it in real time.
I watched the last couple of episodes in real time. Like, not episodes, like I think I watched the last season in real time. I was in my early 20s. So what came out in 2000? It ended in
I don't
2006, but
even.
came
I
out in
don't
the end
even
of the
know. I
90s.
didn't watch in real time. I wasn't into it until I got sick and binge watched.
Yeah, I watched the last like season, the last season of it, I think, because I think I was still in
Yeah,
high school
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
just graduated high school when it came about. And so like back then I wasn't really thinking of that stuff. I was just like,
Totally. Yeah.
yeah, whatever. And then as I in
Mhm.
my earlier 20s, I'm like, oh, this is really kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
I went down the rabbit hole. I bought like I don't know if they still have it. I call it my pink Bible, but it's like a pink velour like DVD set of
Oh
all
my
of the
God,
seasons.
my friend had that.
Yeah,
I think yeah.
I still have it. I refuse to
Mhm,
get rid of it. But I
mhm.
ended up going down the rabbit hole, watching it all. And now that we have HBO/Max, whatever,
Right.
I can watch it, and I'll put it on in the background
Do you
sometimes.
watch the new, what's it called? There's a new,
And just like that, I did. I started watching it
is it,
because I'm such a huge, like, I just love them.
yeah,
I love the
yeah, yeah,
characters.
yeah.
Also, I've had an obsession with New York City since I was a little girl, but I think now I was to meet my partner there, like,
Yeah,
and the obsession has since gone away because we have met and now we've been together.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I think it prompted my like, I just my dad used to take us there all the time as
Mm,
kids.
mhm.
Um, and then I just always like, wow, like you
Yeah,
just the sights that you see. And if
yeah,
you are a New Yorker like yourself, you've been to New
yeah.
York or you've actually lived there, you will understand what I'm talking about. Like there's just some New
You
York
can
is some
take it
cool
for
people.
granted though. I totally took it for granted because growing up 20, 25 minutes outside, our parents used to like drag us there to go to museums and stuff. But like but there is something that I didn't appreciate, I think, until I left New York, maybe.
I get that.
Um, you know?
I
Like, but then
fully
I would hear my friends from Europe or from wherever else in the world be like, "Oh my God, you're there." Like that's like when they would come to visit, they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, that's like in the movies." You know, you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh
no,
yeah."
it is. And I
Like,
think
yeah.
coming from New England area, which is
Yeah,
so different, I
totally.
just and my dad has always said, if you don't do anything else, travel is the most important thing that you can do
Oh,
in your lifetime.
yeah.
Um and
I love
I have taken that to heart in so many ways.
that.
But yeah, New York was this thing, and then I moved there and I was only there for a year, but that was one of the funnest, best, most exciting times of my life. And then I met my partner, and then we've
Right.
just been literally traveling the world for
Yeah.
the last 16, 17 years together. So the
Yeah.
obsession has gone, but I will always have a deep resonance and love
Yeah.
for New York City.
Oh my God, yeah. It will, I think I'll always feel like a New Yorker. It might be the only place where I feel, no, that's not true. I mean, yeah, it's
I get that.
still, it's just, it's part of, I mean, I miss having shows there. It's been now 2 years. I haven't even been there because my parents, when my dad retired, my parents moved to Philly and and then there was less and less reason to go except if I were having a show. And then yeah, I do. Gosh, as we talk about it, I miss it. Let's stop talking about it. I
Okay,
miss it.
okay.
I miss it. I really do. It's part of my soul. It's part of my entire music journey. I mean, as soon as after university, I volunteered as in the Marshall Islands, teaching kids. I always knew that's in the middle of the Pacific. If anyone's listening, if you're interested or don't know, it's like halfway between Australia and Hawaii. I knew two things about my life. I knew music was my path, and I knew I wanted to help people. And I had no idea how difficult the music business would be or how much I would need to get lost before I found myself.
Oh,
Uh,
that right there. Yeah.
that actually brings tears to my eyes. No shit.
But like it's
Um,
so, yeah. God.
But
Yes, all
so
of
I
that.
went when I was just about to graduate. I was like, "What the fuck? How am I going to do this? Like music?" And I knew I didn't want to live at home. My parents were not happy, and were not very supportive at all. At that time, it was very difficult at home. And I was like looking on the internet, like where can I go and how can I get there? And thank you, angels. I didn't really think about it like that then, but there was an opportunity to volunteer to teach, to be the first music director, which they never had music before, but it's an island culture in the middle of the Pacific. Like they already, there's, oh my God, amazing experience. I'm leading us in a whole different direction from New York,
It's
but just to
okay.
say, just to say, it was amazing. I'm so attached to the Marshall Islands. It's a sovereign country. It's a group of islands that the U.S. Is. There is actually a military base on Kwajalein, which is uh, an atoll. This group of islands. It's the largest open water group of islands in the world, in the middle of the Pacific. Why am I saying all this? Just to say, because it made me think of you with a U.S. military base. I just thought of that. But I was living on this really incredible, impoverished island, but so rich in love and kindness and all of my values.
It just aligned.
It just was so aligned with who I am and who I've always been in this lifetime, anyway. And I would like to say if I could go back, I would have stayed there a few more years. I did go back and did little more volunteer work and went to visit and stuff. But it's so damn far away. It's like literally doesn't get further away. But all this to say, coming from there to New York City and to start my life as an artist with no idea what the hell I was doing. I had all the advantages in many ways, in terms of the college I went to, in terms of, for obvious reasons, I had a lot of advantages, but nothing. It actually, the college, none of those things really were helpful. None of those things help you in terms of music business. Um, and it's certainly if you have a lot of integrity and you're a bit naive and you like believe and you think that people who say they believe in you actually do and are going to help you, all those things I believed that, you know, um, I know that was my journey. It's a beautiful story, but all this to say, New York, that's why I grew there, so much,
Mm-hmm.
it's,
Absolutely.
it's where I had my first shows outside of school, and I was like carrying my 66 key old Casio from living in Harlem, taking the A train down to 14th Street, taking the L train to First Avenue, walking with my keyboard on my back in the middle of winter, like to Avenue C for like my shows for like 5 people.
Oh, I love that
You
I
know,
know exactly what you're talking about.
and there were no, I had like no friends there. Like
New York
my,
is an interesting place for friends. Like it
yeah.
was not. I mean, I moved
Oh.
there. I was hellbound. I was just going to go there, and then my sister's like, "I'm coming too." So she came, and
Yeah.
then this random person that was my sister's friend, I didn't want to have this person come. She's a beautiful person, but I think I wanted just me and my sister. If anybody was going to be in my little bubble of what I was creating, I wanted
Yeah.
it to just be my sister. But
Yeah.
also, New York City is so expensive, so I'm glad
Oh
that
my
this
God.
person
Yeah.
came. And like it was a good time. It is what it is. But there's like these places, and
Yeah.
it kind of reminds me of a movie I watched recently. It's called Past Lives. Have you seen
Oh
that?
my gosh, it keeps coming up. I haven't seen it. I need to
It
see it.
broke me in the best way. It tugs at you. So
Oh.
like I it's so beautiful, and it's basically like a movie honoring all the different versions of ourselves and the different lives we could have lived but chose
Mm.
not to,
Mm.
right? So honoring where we are in the present, but then like she also got this gift of honoring what could have been. And there's a lot of times in like in the past little while on my journey, like I have been in this space, and I think it's just, it could be integrating, it could be healing, it could be whatever, because since I've watched this movie I have not had that energy anymore. But
Interesting.
like I am such a sentimental like person, and like I almost felt like I was grieving paths not taken in my
Oh,
life,
wow.
and like just different things, and like, wow, if I had done this, it would have been so drastically different. And I'm so happy with where I am in life. I'm so happy
Mhm.
with, like, I literally do not have very many. I mean, I'm sure you could always find something to complain about, but I choose not to. But there's so much beauty and magic in the life that I live now, right? And there's so many blessings, but there's still that, like, I don't know. And then since I watched the movie, like, I was crying. I was like, oh my gosh, I get this on a deep level. It
Yeah.
healed something inside of me where I don't feel that same, like, tug and pull, because you can't obviously go backwards and change anything. Like,
No, no.
unless
Oh,
somebody knows what a
wow.
time machine is, and would I even want to, right? But like, there was just so many different. It was a cool movie. It was good,
All right, I'm gonna see
and
it.
it's to Korean people, and I have such. So I
Hmm.
think New York for me used to be like that, similarly to you, but I feel like, so I feel like Korea is like that for me. Oh, look, yes.
Wait, how did you make that happen?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
the
I was just,
fireworks. You did it the other day, and I was like, "How did you
oh,
do
I
it?"
think it's two thumbs up.
Oh,
But
okay.
like,
Yep, it
I
is.
take that because I wasn't.
I've
I was.
literally never done that in my life, except maybe when I was trying to do that the other day, and I
Well,
forgot. Yeah.
it was a new upgrade on, like, you have an Apple phone and an
Oh yeah,
iPhone.
yeah. No, I'm not gonna do it because I don't need that
No, but
fireworks right now.
because we're both, I'm on my laptop is a
Yep.
MacBook, and I think
Same.
yours is too. So
Same.
apparently the upgrade or
Yeah.
works for that too.
Yeah.
I had no intention of doing that, but I
I
take that
love
as a
it.
little sign from
Because you're
spirit.
like, Korea! It's like fireworks. Somebody's a little excited to move back to Korea.
Oh, that was so awesome because
What you're saying actually just made me think on a much lighter note that it made me think of some of Dolores Cannon's work and other people's work of how when we are in a point in our lives where we're making a major decision or we're like on the brink of something, like if there's enough energy that is like toward one direction, it actually like one of you, because you know there's many of us, right?
yeah,
One of the in another reality, in another dimension, that other version of you does exist.
yeah.
So I just like not to just to add that, like it's kind of
No,
a
but
cool concept.
it is cool, and I think on some weird level, it gives me peace to know, like, even if
Yeah.
I'm not living that life,
Yeah.
other EFs have
Right?
it.
Yeah.
Like, other.
Yeah. Totally.
I
Oh,
mean, I
yeah.
pray.
Yeah.
I'm, yes, I'm just going to believe that.
So, I like did this. I was waiting for balloons. I didn't leave it long enough. Good.
Okay.
I didn't want them. um, oh yeah, just one thing about friends, because I was saying I had no friends, and
Oh yeah.
then but you were excited and
Sorry.
no, 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 not at all. Just because if my friends listen to this, they're going to be like, "What do you mean you didn't have friends?" What I meant to say was I didn't have any friends who are on that artist path.
Yeah.
Where I went, where most of the people I went to school with were lawyers or doctors or working at an investment bank, and I had like 8 different jobs. I was not I was working at a bar. I worked for a very short time at a bank, and they wanted me to stay, and I like couldn't commit. It was really great money, but I was like, nope, I'm gonna quit. Actually, 9/11 happened. uh,
Oh,
it
you
was a
were
day
there
after
for
my
that.
birthday. And I had in advance decided to take that day off. Everyone in New York has a 9/11 story. I lived in Harlem, but I worked just a few blocks from World Trade, and I was there every day of the week. This is like just like a short period of time after, in between the volunteer work and trying to figure out my life. I had this opportunity to, it was not a full-time thing, but it was like a consultant position, whatever. It wasn't as like, it's not like I was working at a bank, but I was doing like human resource stuff. I'm not like a numbers person, not just saying. It wasn't that high pressure. My boss totally favored me and like loved the fact that I was a musician. I had very short platinum hair and blue nails, and like he was super nice. But 9/11 happened. Thankfully, I was nowhere nearby. I was had planned to be recording an album that day. I'd received funding for it. Super excited. Obviously, that didn't happen. And then, why do I keep like shifting the conversation? I'm sorry.
No, don't
Um,
be sorry. I love this is what I just love the flow. Like
yeah,
it's all
it's
good.
like my whole life story. This episode being. I don't think about it all the time, but yeah. Just to
But
say,
maybe this is like shadow work.
oh, it's like, well, is it?
I don't know.
No, I mean,
I'm
I'm
just
proud of.
healing
Yeah,
at some level, maybe.
or maybe it's there's someone listening who's like, has felt that on your path you've also taken a less than traditional path for like your whole life and has felt I had like no support from my family. They just weren't. It was pretty awful, honestly. If I think about it, it was really awful. I love them all so much, but they just couldn't. They were, you know, my dad.
You're the
They were
unicorn
like,
of the family.
sorry.
I said you're the unicorn of the family. Like they say the
Yeah,
black sheep, which is the different one, but I like the unicorn instead
I
because I'm
like
the
that
unicorn of my
too. Or
family.
I used to have a poster that said, "You are the orange sheep of the family."
Yes,
That was in my first apartment, actually, in New
I
York.
love that.
But yeah, anyway, I've had so when you're on this kind of artist path, often when you when you choose that path, because there have been points where I chose not to have money. I chose these, to be a part-time art teacher and a babysitter and to work at a bar, all these other jobs. By the way, my best paying job was working at a bar by far.
Oh yeah,
Like, by
people love
far.
to drink
It just
and
ate
throw
my
money at people.
totally. And they just threw and then drunk. Well, not the yeah. It depends which bar, but yeah. I just remember I was like making such good money, but it was like slowly eating away at my soul because I had
Yep,
like because then you don't get up until late. You don't get home until 4. You're like counting your bills.
it's the whole thing.
Um, and anyway, just to say, like when you take an untraditional path, I'm super grateful now. Actually, as we speak, I feel more like compassion for my journey.
Yeah,
No
no,
idea what the fuck I was doing.
there's yep, that's my whole life. Like I resonate because my life has been completely not traditional. I've just
Yeah.
kind of I guess flowed with like what the
Mhm.
energy, you know what I mean? I've had a
Yeah.
bunch of random jobs, so I totally understand. It is just interesting. But I've told my mom, like, if I had not experienced the trauma that I lived with growing up as a
Mhm.
kid,
Mhm.
would I, and like, let's say I had the ideal family situation, you know what I mean? Like, ideal would be like all the love and all the hugs and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
very little friction and a healed parents. My parents were not, they grew up
Same.
with us. So like so like if it had been more quote unquote ideal, would I still be exactly who I am now? You
Nope.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think I would be. I feel like, and I hate to say it because it just sounds so cliche and annoying, but I am a much stronger version. I feel like I'd be a bit more watered down
Yeah.
had I had the idyllic, is that even a word? Ideal,
Yes. Yes, it is.
the ideal type of family situation, and everybody was healed and everybody was coming from their highest and best self all the
Sounds
time.
really boring, doesn't
It
it?
almost does. And then I don't even like that because like I don't want, you had told me because Jess is a soul realignment practitioner and I'm still learning what all that does and all
Yeah.
it means.
Yeah.
But she had done a session for me and she said that my soul like is okay with lots of drama, and it
Yes.
in turn made me laugh hysterically, and then like I shed some tears. I'm like, this makes so much sense because
we're
I
like the
don't,
we're
like
like the
my
opposite.
everyday life, I
Yeah.
don't have drama. Like I am
Right.
very drama free, whatever. But then the
Mhm.
things that circle around me, it's
Yeah.
like I literally am the calm walking through all of this
Yeah.
chaos, but
Yeah.
it's just so my brain
Mhm.
cannot under like what? So I feel the same way about my childhood. If I had had any other childhood less traumatic, I
Yeah.
would not. I would be a bit more watered down version
Yeah.
of my current self. And
Yeah.
like I don't like that. Like I like
No,
growth.
no, no, no.
I
And we
like
both totally and we both know that our parents did their best.
absolutely. They
Like
did the
that
best
and
with the
there was
tools
always
they had.
I'm sorry?
They did the best with the tools that they had.
Exactly. And I feel like that's because, like, there's so many ways, and neither you or nor I, we're not doing that here, but like where there are ways in which people can, many people that both of us know, you know, can tend to victimize themselves and be like, well, this happened to me. And again, oh my gosh, of course, as soon as I say that, I'm like literally like, oh my God, but people have had so much more difficult circumstances. Um, but in general, looking at it as, you know, why did I choose these people to be in my family? What are they here to teach me? Or what did I learn from that? I think whenever you can look back and say, wow, like for my dad, okay, he was we had a lot of healing later on, but it was bad for he just he just was very unhealed. And that came out in the way he treated all of us. And I feel bad even saying that now because he's transitioned. But it
I
is what
just
it
feel like
is.
he's still supporting you though.
He
Like
is.
speak your
He's super
truth.
proud, and like our relationship is great in this new phase. Which we'll do another episode. I would love to talk about that at some point.
Yeah,
I have a
me
lot of
too.
yeah
I'd love to
experience
hear
with
it.
that, the after life after death. But yeah, looking at it just with so much gratitude. I feel so grateful to have the family I do, and to have all the experiences that we have, all the times I made the the quote bad decision. I learned the lesson like not just once or twice, but maybe 18 times.
Yep.
Maybe it got worse each time because I can be an obstinate bitch.
Oh, you speak to my soul because that
That
is
is my
also me.
that is my shadow. And
Yep.
people, right, people see you, oh, you're so nice, and you're like, yeah, I but like, hello, we're humans, we have all the things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just there are so many times my ego wants to like I am so good with words normally, the Gemini in
Yes.
me maybe, but like I could and I don't. I never do actually, which is I'm really actually proud of myself. But like I could really hurt somebody with words.
I knew you were gonna say that.
but I'm
I know you have this gift. I
but like
know it.
and my ego so desperately wants to be like smack a bitch, you know what I mean? Put him in place. But I don't. And I don't know what stops me truly. I really don't. I'm
It's your
grateful for it.
emotional mastery. It's your
You
mastery.
know what? You know what? Honestly, because in the moment, like not only is my ego being like, "See it, just see it." There's a
You
part
can
of
like literally see it going,
it's true.
pushing you.
There's like a part of me that's like, "Who the fuck really cares?" And I'm like, "You're right." And then I move in that direction every time because if it takes too much energy from me, I'm just not interested. Like,
That's yeah.
and
Yeah.
that because then I have to deal with the aftermath of
Yes.
humans melting and being, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I will always, 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 always without fail stick up for myself and stick up for other people if I see
Yeah.
something happening or if somebody is trying to project onto me. I'd be like,
Mhm.
I don't think so, and this is
Yeah.
why, and then it'll come out.
I love, but that is why that's very positive though, you know?
I just,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
no,
have an easier time. I don't even want to own this. I don't want to say this to label, but for me, it's easier for me to stick up for other people.
I
Like I'm
get
such
that.
a loyal person, but for
Same.
myself, sometimes I might just like close the door and just detach. Not because I need to protect my energy, because I don't have that divine seven power thing. Like I have the divine compassion, like super sensitive thing where like,
Can you explain that to anybody who's listening to like in a
yeah,
digestible way?
yeah. So this is all coming from a modality called soul realignment, where basically I go into someone's Akashic records, which is, if you're unfamiliar, your Akashic records are basically, it's like a memory of everything your soul has ever been through, like through every lifetime. So as you can imagine, it's like there's a lot of stuff, right? We're working through from lifetime to lifetime. It didn't just start in childhood. It would
Hmm.
be so much easier if it did. Um, like I saw that one myself. I was like, oh gosh, this didn't start in this lifetime, my whole failure block.
Yeah.
Anyway, each of us in this modality, the most basic things to look up are what are your, it's called your divine, what's it called? Your divine gifts. And there are 8 of them, and each human has either one or two. And yours are divine power, which is exactly what you talked about. It's like you're the fastest manifestors. You can deal with more drama. These are just the basics, right? And your secondary, we share because we both have two. The secondary is divine communication, which is why I know we're meant to do this podcast because we're both great communicators. Like it's fun, it's easy, it's I
It's
don't say
like,
all the right things.
neither
I
do
see my
I.
shadow, but
I don't think that's the point, though.
no, 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 it's not. I'm just making a bad joke.
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
no, it's okay. Case in point, right? And mine are divine one, which is divine compassion, which the greatest gift would be empathy. It can, of course, be a superpower and also a curse, like everything. Um, and I'm not here to. Not that you're here to deal with drama, you're not, but you can move through it. Whereas it can be, and again, I don't want to say this out loud because I don't, do you know what I mean? Because it
You're
feels
not
like,
attaching yourself to the energy. It
yeah,
just is what it is, if
yeah,
that
if
makes
you're not aware of your your superpowers and you're allowing yourself to be exposed to more drama and you're someone like me, it's going to have a really terrible effect on you. It's really important to steer clear of that.
sense.
But divine communication, yay.
Yay! Oh no, I don't want to do the thumbs.
Oh yeah,
Yay!
I tried to do the two things really fast so the balloons didn't come out on the screen.
I know. It
Oh
like
my gosh,
jazzed up.
we're already at 36 minutes, so I feel like,
Woohoo! Look at
yeah,
that.
that was like so fun.
Divine communication.
Yeah.
Divine vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if you're interested in soul realignment, you can always email me at realignyoursoul@gmail.com. I just closed my Instagram page, or I'm just about to, for soul realignment, because I just, there's so many things to do, and
I get it.
just like I need to clear a little energy.
I
That's
get
for another
that.
episode though.
And if you're looking for a little help with the self-love department, you can buy my book. The self-love
Exactly. It's
file. It's on
awesome. I have it.
Amazon, and it's very simple. It's very easy
Mhm.
to digest. There's
We'll put a link.
good concepts, but like it's not confusing.
Totally.
But yeah, we'll put a link down there.
Yep. Awesome. We love you.
Bye.
Catch you soon. Bye. All right, I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna do it. All right. Yes.